amori, si la tebas vigori, possum scire onde grederi, possum scire quo grege exi, si malatulistissa, scioterica est doloribus his, scio cogitas et non exummi, solutum tibi, amorem damo, ut lucides si, meus liberamo, sine Deis extrati, amore, sine Deis extrati, solutum, meus cursus tuo, itera dicirco itaque, vides curiam curotam pavide, veritas alibi, semperera team qua erebam quia, volvis scire plus erat uc idem scio, solutum tibi, amorem damo, ut lucides si, meus liberamo, sine Deis extrati, amore, sine Deis extrati, solutum, quella manum mittendum tamen, diem quid mi carpe, solvas tuos omnes sensus grave, ut nunquam puenas te. Latebamus amori, latebamus vigori, scimus minime quod faciamus si, minus scimus quid est faciendum si, solutum tibi, amorem damo, ut lucides si, meus liberamo, sine Deis extrati, amore, sine Deis extrati, solutum, solutum.
Hello. Good day. Good day. Good evening. Good morning. My camera got all screwed up when I moved my stuff around. I'm gonna have to get a static camera that just shoots my face while I'm over here, so I can be that person. Hello. Yes, we are doing Orc Archers today, Klaus. Hello. How are you? How's the future? I hope it's looking bright. If you know. All right. But yeah, no new updates today, so we're gonna run straight on into painting. I'm just getting myself situated here. We got Orc Archers. Oh, okay. Well, tell Tater I said hi. All right. There we go. All right, so we finished our Dread Warriors last time. We've got some Orc Archers to paint. These are the last of the orcs that I have to mess with. So we've got two different poses. We've got two of these fellows right here. These are male Orc Archers. And then we have two female Orc Archers as well. So, yeah. They are pretty similar to the other orcs I've painted before with HeroQuest. You guys didn't see that because I didn't do them on stream. I painted them a while ago. But basically, these guys are kind of the same. I'm just getting out some more paints here. Because I usually paint they have this cloth, like, front thing here. I don't know what you call it. This cloth, like, loincloth or whatever. Yeah. So I paint those different colors for each one. So for some of them I painted it red, for some of them I painted it blue, for some of them I painted yellow, and some I painted brown. When I usually have two, I paint one red and one blue. Just cause, for no real reason, other than the fact that it's just what I've done in the past. So that's what we'll do. So this guy will be red, and we'll go ahead and get started. I'm using a very pretty standard formula for my orc flesh, which is what we're going to paint first. This is what I've used many, many times. So the first one we're going to use is Wyvern Green. It's our first color. It's going to be our shadow tone. And this is going to go all over our flesh. So these guys look pretty heavily armored, and they are. And so there's going to be a lot of metallic paints on here as well for the armor. But I'm still going to do the flesh. And I'm just going to paint over the tusks because I'll just paint them separately. It's too much of a pain to try to separate them. They've got these cool half helms that really differentiate them from the other orcs in the HeroQuest set. Which, if you guys are interested, I can go grab my other ones towards the end of stream. You can see what those look like. I painted them pretty early on. So they were kind of warm-up monsters for me. Because I've changed up my painting style somewhat since I painted them. So, they look quite different than what you guys are used to seeing, which is the new improved me painting. We're rocking the Bardcore playlist again. And these guys are all barefoot, which is pretty cool in my opinion. I mean, how much of a badass do you have to be to go in a dungeon completely barefoot and not even give a shit? Shoes? Oh, I don't need no shoes. Because all orcs are cockneys, so I don't know if you know that or not. It's a mandatory law. World of Warcraft manages to skirt by because it's an American game, but you know. Oops. Way too far over to the right. What shoes? Yes. Something you're doing? You're not that kind of orc. Zug zug. Little orc peon for you there. From Warcraft, the strategy game, the real-time strategy games, not the MMO. Even though you can find peons in the MMO, they're in some of the orc starting quests, especially. You get to go kick lazy peons and tell them to get to work. Okay, I think I got all the flesh. We hit it with the shadow tone. Oh, my poor one brush. I guess I didn't just wash it off last time. I'll wash it off real quick. Sorry, it was just like there's something weird going on with that water. Alright. Now we need to do our transition coat, which means we're gonna mix the wyvern skin with orc hide. Wyvern green with orc hide, rather. And this is gonna be our transitional layer between the shadow tones and our mid-tones. And our mid-tone is gonna be the orc hide. And if I've never explained this on stream before, but I think I have. Basically what this does is it just keeps it from looking like from going from, like, you know, the straight shadow color to the next thing. The transition isn't so, like, dramatic. And I'm keeping the shadow tones in the furthest reaches, so this covers everything else. I'm thinking about it out loud. Okay. Ah, the arm here. Sounds about right. There it is. All right, now straight up going with the orc hide here. This is going to be our mid-tone. This is going to be most of the flesh. I realize that this part up here is probably pants. that is our midtones done. All right, now our highlight. Our highlight color is going to be the ethereal green. And we're going to create a transitional coat, of course, between by mixing ethereal green with the orc hide, rather. And this is a highlight on our flesh, which means that we're only going into the places where the skin is facing the sun, or where it's sort of strained, like it's being pulled taut, like when you squeeze your knuckles like that. So, yeah, it's called ethereal green. I don't know what's so ethereal about it, but it's a very bright yellowy green. Very much a highlight color. All right. So we definitely want to get these fingers here. Tops of the muscles. Down here in the knees. This top part of the arm. Tops of the toes and the feet. And for the face, we're just gonna do the bottom lip here, top lip, bit on the chin there, and back of the chin there. All right. Last highlight on the skin is just going to be this straight up ethereal green. Try not to use too much of this because it is a very yellowy green, and it will change the way that everything looks if I use too much. Alright, that's it for the orc flesh. Next, we're going to move on to the browns, which is just going to be a quick two color dealie. So I try not to go too crazy with like some of the secondary colors on these models that I have 3 or 4 on, but like the skin is kind of a big deal. So I kind of just, that's Ancient Forest. I didn't need that. I wanted Curious Leather. Where are you? Yeah, there it is. Curious Leather and Ancient Forest are going to be our 2 colors we're going to be using. Curious Leather is our shadow coat, and Ancient Forest is our highlight. And we're going to put this brown on the pants here. Because they could also be like straps of some kind, I suppose. We're also going to go brown on the quiver. This right here is also part of the belt. Yep, I see it now. So this belt kind of like loops around. Oh, I didn't realize he has abs out. This is one of those things that sometimes when you're painting a mini, you realize something about it as you're going through, because you added a color next to it that contrasts enough to the point where it sort of like reveals a detail that you missed before. There's a little bit more flesh on them than I initially thought. Which, that's fine. We'll just go in and we'll paint that in our flesh tones. It's not going to mess anything up. We haven't started on a whole lot of the model yet. Or mini. I did not assemble this, so it is not a model. And we have this strap here. Arrow. Bits of the bow that you can kind of see that look like wood. Excellent. Glad to hear it, Klaus. He's got his abs here, which are great because it means it's easier to stab him and kill him. He's got his abs out, you know. A lot of these orcs have a lot of armor on them, but still a lot of bare skin showing. I guess it's a cultural thing. You know, like, you know, all honor and zug and, you know. Okay, well, the shadow tone on that green is drying. I will go ahead and add our transitional highlight color for our brown, which is going to be a mix of the ancient forest and the curious leather. This is going to kind of act as our de facto mid-tone just because we don't really have a mid-tone paint per se for this combo. Okay, and we'll go ahead and do the next layer on those abs there. This is again our mix of the wyvern green and orc flesh. While that dries, I'll add a final highlight to the brown. This is Ancient Forest. Leather bits, I'm kind of adding it as like little scratchy highlights because I want to give the leather sort of the impression that it's kind of worn. All the brown. Next, our mid-tone. On the skin down here. Highlight. Okay. Thank you very much. Right, we got some green, we got some brown. Next, we're gonna go ahead and paint his loincloth. This one's gonna be red. We're just using 2 colors for this, really. We're gonna use the Berserker red to begin with. I think those 2 dangly things are part of armor. Part of the armor, rather. Righty. So over the back. I'm thinking about a thing that I might want to do, but I think, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do the feathers, same color as the loincloth, the feather on the arrow. Because why not? It's my mini, I can do whatever the heck I want. Okay. And then we'll do Sanguine Scarlet. We'll mix the Berserker Red with Sanguine Scarlet. Okay. Okay. And the last thing we're doing is straight up Sanguine Scarlet. So we're not going to go too crazy with the highlights on these ones. For the feathers, I'm just doing little lines because I kind of want to add the texture to the feather that doesn't exist on the actual mini itself. And these feathers in the quiver are kind of annoying because they're so much smaller than the feathers on the that are on the arrow on the actual bow. So I'm not sure if there's supposed to be two arrows or just one arrow. Because they're kind of weird looking. Okay, and that's the last of the red. Trying to think if there are any other non-metallics that I need to do besides the eyes. I think I'm gonna do hydrate. I have a LaCroix over here. I'm doing a 3D modeling a head for a Transformers figure for someone. Cool. That's very cool. Yeah, man. Do it. All right, so let me think. Do I want to do the eyes first, or do I want to do the metallics? I think I'll go ahead and do the eyes. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is we're doing ash gray on the eyes. That's pretty cool. Glad to hear it, man. It's time for the sexy Gugs. Precisely. Thank you, Klaus. Looks like the point on my one is just not good anymore. I hate to use a teeny tiny little brush because it dries out so quickly. But it's got a good point on it, so that's all I need. I guess it's good I'm doing the metallics after this. Because I got a bunch of gray on the old eye holes there. Alright. Alright, next we're doing Brigade Gray. You named a dragon metallics once? I guess that makes sense, if it's a metal dragon. Alright, and last we're gonna finish off with a little dot of trooper white in there. And the last part of the eyes is going to be this red contrast paint. And it's gonna work for our glowing eyes. Our red glowing eyes. I'm spreading it around a little bit so it doesn't pool too much. Okay. Okay. It burned all the villages down with a superior multi-metal breath weapon, so it had to be put down. That's a good reason to put down a dragon. Unless you're Trogdor. This Trogdor burninates the countryside. It burninates all the peasants. Burninates all the people in the thatch roof cottages. Because he is Trogdor. Alright, first thing we're going to use is Dwarven Iron. It's going to be our silver base coat. RS Blunden. Welcome on into the stream. It's going good. We are painting some Orc Archers for HeroQuest right now. How is your evening, afternoon, or whatever it happens to be wherever you are going? We are just applying some metallics to the orc. We've gotten most of the figure painted with the non-metallics. I think we got all of it painted with non-metallics. We got skin, wood, etc., etc. That's all done. Yes, I do. We just I used. I'll show you the colors I use in just a second. Let me just. Painting this arrowhead. Okay. We started off with a shadow tone of wyvern green and 2 thin coats. This is sort of a dark bluish green. And then we mixed that with orc hide, sort of a 1-to-1 mixture of these two as a transition. Then we used orc hide as our mid-tone. And then we did a mix of orc hide and ethereal green as a transition for our highlights. And then our highlight is just ethereal green. I didn't use very much of this because it's very bright yellowish green. So, but yeah, those are the colors that I used for the skin. Thank you. You know what I forgot to do with the non-metallics? A couple of things, actually. Just remembering now. I need to do the tusks on the orc. That's okay, we'll go back and do that. And then I also am noticing as I'm doing the metallics on the bow here that there's like a hand wrap there. We could probably do that with the red that we have. Yeah, I like Two Thin Coats fairly well. I think that it's very similar to Citadel paints, or I guess they're called now Warhammer paints, or the Games Workshop paints. They're very similar in consistency and color, but they're a little they're a little better consistency. I think a little creamier. And they come in dropper bottles, so, and you also get a little bit more in each bottle than you do in the standard pot of your Games Workshop paint. And they sell them at one of my local game stores, so it's easy for me to get them. It used to be that it was harder to find Two Thin Coats, but now I see it fairly regularly at other game stores that I've gone to. But there's still only one in my area that sells it. The rest of them sell your standard Warhammer, Citadel paints, and Army Painter stuff, which there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't buy many Warhammer / Citadel paints anymore because they're very expensive. And also, I don't really like the paint pots that they come in. So I usually, if I have a choice, I'll either buy the Two Thin Coats or the Army Painter paints. So you get the backside of that. Okay, let's get the feet down here. I don't know why it feels like a cop-out to use so much of this metallic paint, but this is how I painted the other orcs. They had a metallic armor, because I wanted it to look like it was sort of hammered out, or like wrought iron and whatnot. But it's not like, you know, super fancy or super like well crafted. Because that's just the sort of feeling that they give from this armor. Because it's very lumpy, not very ornamental. This one's got like elements of like trim on it, but I don't want to paint all that trim. I'm gonna add some like bronze slash bronze accents. That's what they are. Will be some bronze accents to it, but they're not. I don't want to get too crazy on the detail on the armor and stuff like that, because I have 3 more of these to paint. So I don't really want to be here all night painting trim on an orc. No offense to them. Alright. So that's our base of the Dwarven Iron. Now we're going to do the bronze accents. Well, the 2 thin coats is also the name of the brand, Klaus. Thanks for the warning, though. I'm gonna go pour out this paint water. I'll still be able to hear it.
For the Emperor!
Thank you. So I'm gonna go pour out this water real quick. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to clean out the my paint pot that I use for washing off my brushes because it had like some sort of weird scum in it, which is gross. So we're going to go ahead and do the bronze metallics. So we're going to use Spartan bronze as our base for the bronze, obviously. It appears that there is a clog in this dropper. Yep. I always keep a bent paper clip on my desk. Just use it to clear out clogged up dropper bottles. So we're going to paint the scale mail bronze just to break it up from the rest of the silver. There's so much silver on this already. I don't really care about accuracy, historical or otherwise. I just care about aesthetics when it comes to like fantasy orcs. And this will help break up those colors. Okay. And then I'm going to switch to a smaller brush just because I need to get a little bit of a finer tip here. For some of these. Because we're going to do like these buckles here. Again, to break up a lot of the silver that's around here. Okay. And then there's also these like this one in the middle here, this little like symbol. I've seen this in a lot of the orcs and the goblins. It's kind of like their army symbol. So I'm just gonna paint that the bronze. Because it seems important. Just thinking about if there's anything else I want to do in bronze. I think that's probably going to be it. Just to save myself headache for later on, because if there's too much bronze on there, I have to go in and do that with all of them. Woohoo! Congratulations, Klaus. Go home. Oh, I'm seeing that it's a piece of silver that I missed. This bit down here. I think I figured out that that's supposed to be part of the armor panel here, just because like it doesn't look like cloth and it doesn't light up with the rest of the cloth, so. Okay, well, before I move on to like shades and stuff like that, I need to do the tusks, and we'll do that in our almost our normal style. What kind of camera setup do I have for streaming? I just use my phone. I have an iPhone 17, 16, whatever the most recent model was. And I think it's an iPhone 17. I use an app called Camo, C-A-M-O, and I just plug it into my computer and run that app on my phone and my computer, and it works as a webcam. And I pay for it. It's free. But in free, you can only stream up to 720p resolution, and it has a little watermark on it. But for stream purposes, you can easily like cut that out. But yeah, I pay for it so I can stream in 1080p. Yeah, it's pretty, I mean, it's pretty self-intuitive, and it's also the one that Twitch recommends. I didn't know that until I was looking at it, looking at Twitch apps earlier today, that it actually suggests Camo for your using your phone as a webcam. Alright, so our next layer on the tusks is going to be Dragon Fang. And then for the tusks, I think the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add a little highlight of Skeleton Legion. That could work. The only problem with GoPros is I don't know how good the resolution there is on them, but for this sort of thing, you kind of have to get the camera very close. Cause like my camera is like right here, and it's like very close to the very close to the figure. Cause you want to be able to get as much detail as you can. I could get closer, but I need a little wiggle room too. And there we go. That's our last highlight on the tusks. So we got our bow and our tusks done. Now we're just gonna do some quick shade. We're gonna do some shading on the metallics here. We're using Nuln Oil on the silver. Yeah, definitely do your research before you spend any money. Because you don't want to, like, you know, spend a stupid amount on something you don't really need. Because AV equipment gets very expensive very quickly, depending on what you're trying to do. I would recommend, until you get up and going and you find a setup that works for you, use what you have already. Do not spend any money in your initial setup. Don't spend any money until you're up and going and it's something you know you want to do do a whole lot. Because if you start streaming and you decide, this isn't really for me, then you wasted a ton of money on stuff that you're never going to use again. And you might be able to recoup a little bit of it by selling it to someone else. But save yourself that headache and hassle and just don't spend any money on your initial startup. Just use things that you have already. That's what I did. My first camera setup that I used, I had a DSLR camera that I hooked up into hooked up and used as my painting camera, and it served because I didn't have a very good phone, so I didn't want to use it, and also I didn't want to pay the money for the services at the time. But you also don't need a super high-end setup for streaming. Most of this is personality based. Which is why nobody hangs out on my streams. Because I don't talk that much. I just vibe. while that dries, we'll hit the bronze with some Agrax Earthshade. I know you did, Klaus. I know you're here for the vibes. That's great. I'm glad you're here for the vibes. I appreciate everybody who comes to my streams, just because, you know, it gives me somebody to hang out with while I'm painting. Looks a little too bright. Okay. Give that just a second to dry. Hydrate real quick. Already did it. It's very hot. The weather has decided that it is now going to be spring, which I'm already over it. I don't like hot weather. I'm more of a cold weather duck. Yeah, I understand. I understand. Alright, we're not going to add too many highlights to the armor here, because mostly it is, it's supposed to be sort of rough hammered armor, so it doesn't really need to shine in the light. We're going to add some brighter silver, or use coat silver to the high points, maybe add some little scratches to it. And that will be our primary highlight on the silver.
white shirt, now red my bloody nose sleeping. You're on your tippy toes creeping around like no one knows. Think you're so criminal. Bruises on both my knees for you don't say thank you or please. I do what I want when I'm wanting to. My soul so cynical. So you're a tough guy, like it really rough guy. Just can't get enough guy, just always a puff guy. I'm the bad type, make your mama sad type, make your girlfriend mad type, might seduce your dad type. I'm the bad guy. Duh. I like it when you take control, even if you know that you don't own me. I let you play the role, I'll be your animal. My mommy likes to sing along with me, but she won't sing the song if she reads all the lyrics. She'll pity the
That's the
men
silver.
I know. So you're a tough guy, like it really rough guy. Just can't get enough guy, just always a puff guy.
All right. Good luck with the plumber.
Make your girlfriend mad type, might seduce your dad type.
All right, and we're gonna highlight the bronze with top brass, and then we're probably gonna be done with this particular orc, and we'll be done with the stream. So, wrap it up. All right. And there we go. And that is a done orc. He is 100% complete. So the other ones will follow suit somewhat after this one. So that's 1 down and 3 to go. And we are very close to being finished with all of our primed minis. And then we'll take a little break from HeroQuest to work on some other things. So look forward to it. Please look forward to it. Please. I have some ideas of where I'm going to go next. So we'll see. But all right, it's a short stream tonight. I guess kind of. It's we've been going for a couple of hours and we finished our mini, so we'll sign off here. And we've got one more of this same guy to do, but we'll do him in blue. And then we've got 2 of these here that we need to do as well. So yeah. Later, Klaus. Good luck with your plumber. And yeah, so I'll just pop out here. Say we'll see you on Thursday. I might do a retro RPG stream this week if I feel like it. Maybe people come in and watch that if they're interested. I have some ideas of what I want to do, but we'll see. All right, peace.